Well, now people are going to start expecting some Star Wars intros before all their pitches. Before we have Team Piranha on in just a moment, I just want to be clear with everybody. Just again, thank you for your hard work. But the expectation, you've spent all of 2 hours on this, right? So please be forgiving, all of you. I know the ideas are good, and I'm sure I'm going to be impressed with your value propositions. But let's be clear. Let's get Piranha set up.
All right, lads, we're ready. Do we start?
Yeah, you got 5 glorious minutes, you represent your team, right? So give it the best team. All right.
Will do. It's been quite an honor. Thank you very much. My name is Fadi Hindi. I'm the facilitator for Team Piranhas. These guys have done a phenomenal job. We are going to be presenting you today with the idea. We took the technology challenge, and the team will present you the idea of using artificial intelligence, machine learning, and quantum computing to help us detect and predict adversary movement and activity. So with that, I'll turn it over to Kevin, and we can get started.
Good morning. The current state of the art is that we have a static understanding of threat locations, which is based on reconnaissance and intelligence. The fundamental premise of this concept is to utilize artificial intelligence to extend beyond that static awareness into a projection of future action. This objective will be enabled by leveraging commercial experience with artificial intelligence used for marketing and other applications to anticipate the behavior of our adversaries. I'm going to hand it off to Ed for further background.
Okay, thanks, Kevin. So imagine that you're a combatant commander making decisions about the missions that we're going to engage with, or you're in an operations center helping to support an actual mission going on, or you're a coalition partner that is helping us to decide where the next places that we need to go are. You know, what we would all want, what all of those people would want, would be more efficient logistics, being able to put equipment where it needs to go without making, errors, without sending it to the wrong place. We want to obviously save more lives. We want to save costs. And probably most importantly, we want to increase our chances of achieving the mission. And we believe that we can do all those things in a much more predictable way through some of the solutions that Dr. Omar is going to talk about here next.
Hello, everybody. So like my teammates mentioned, our solutions that we are proposing is growth the path of R&D, augmented solutions with quantum computing, and assessing the viability of multiple scenarios, identifying in real time, leveraging commercial services, farms, and other large computing systems to analyze the large data sets and answer the relevant mission question. We propose to build a threat database and intel, build previous operational experience, build on adversary combat commanders, establish communication networks to provide background data, bring the brightest minds to the private, from the private and commercial sector to collaborate and help on develop of machine learning algorithm for this type of prediction. The team that we would like to build would be machine learning experts from the industry and academia and government, quantum computing experts, industry, academia, government, the intelligence community, threat and intel database owners, infrastructure companies, example, Amazon, Google, and telecommunication providers, especially for the Internet of Things and 5G telecommunications. Now I'll hand it back to Kevin.
So just as a reminder, the advantage of this approach would be improved efficiency, increased likelihood of mission success, and then the overall end state would be saving lives. And as another element is, as we exercise the approach over time, it will also become a more accurate predictor of adversary actions as well. I'm going to turn it back over to Ed to finish things up.
Okay, thanks. So again, you know, the important thing to remember here is imagine the possibility much more certainty where the enemy is going to be, where we need to put our resources. There is nothing better than that. I mean, to be quite honest, I'm sure everybody remembers it. G.I. Joe, knowing is half the battle. Thank you.
Well done, guys.
Thank you so much for that. That was great. I did not expect a G.I. Joe reference after all that AI. I love it. You nailed it. Very nice value proposition. Can we go from the small and ferocious fish to the giant orca team? Can I get you to step up and share your value proposition?
You ready?
Yes, we are. Thank you. Take it away.
Good morning. I'm Tom Jackson, one of the speakers for Team Orca. We undertook the Workforce Challenge with the intent of creating an innovative, mission-centered culture. It's diverse, inclusive, positive, responsive, and improves the speed of the fleet and provides superior products and services to the military aviation community. And on the screen, you can see our team, and then I'll turn it over to Gina for the next section.
Hello, everyone. I'm Gina Briarty on Team Orca. We did the Workforce Challenge, and the question we were hoping to seek answer was, over the next several years, how might U.S. military aviation improve the character and habits of its workforce? So some of our thoughts were, how can we leverage some of the successful programs that we already have in place, such as developmental employee programs, leadership development programs, and industry and academic partnerships, and continuing to improve on these. Still the innovative mindset that we've been talking about over the last few days, so that innovation is a part of our daily lives and not an afterthought that we don't necessarily have time to consider. Tom, are you showing the next slide? So our customer and opportunity, the primary customer we see as the entire military aviation workforce, to include the military, civilian, and contractor employees, as well as the leadership, as transforming a culture within an organization requires buy-in and support from all levels, top down and bottom up. And the opportunity is to strengthen the workforce that improves the overall military aviation community and enables higher quality products to be delivered more quickly. I'm going to turn it back over to Tom for our solution.
We determined that high leadership battle rhythms that many in the organization already do, in addition to the issues and challenges, include innovative ideas that leadership can help facilitate change. These ideas come from the same set of the workforce that provides the issues and the challenges. So the solution, improve the mentorship program. Most of the organization has mentorship already, whether formal or informal. We just want to make it better, more inclusive, and kind of grow the idea of diversity and the creative thinking. We want to involve external culture consultants to help with expanding those changes. We need to train the leadership, and then on down. It absolutely has to start with leadership. If they don't buy into the program, then nobody will. Allocate time for research and thinking, critical thinking, creative thinking, get out there, get creative, and see what you can come up with that makes a difference. And finally, for a solution, we'd like to see more expanded exchange opportunities with some of the more leading companies out there. Tesla is one that comes to mind, SpaceX, Google, Apple, things like that. Let our workforce see how they do business. The team, as was discussed, it's going to be military aviation leadership and the workforce. We need to pull in academia for their expertise. Change agents will need some designated inside the organization, but we're going to need help from outside as well with that. And then finally, our industry partners. And with that, I'll turn it over to Gina to wrap it up.
So the advantage and results for this solution, the advantages being enabling the US and allies to shift towards a more technological superior position, to help streamline processes across the organization, not just in any one area, but across the entirety of the area. So from financial management all the way to engineering and design, as an example. Another advantage is the overall improved security for US and allied citizens. Results with this solution would be to enable a higher retention rate of top tier talent, seek to reduce red tape and lower costs, and also enhance partnerships with industry and academia for increased opportunities for commercial technology spinoffs. And lastly, enable a culture that encourages new and unconventional approaches and lessens that fear of failure to enable our organization to reach new heights. Thanks for listening to our pitch.
That was great. Thanks for making the pitch. I love that the first one was leveraging AI and the second one was leveraging the talent and passion of the workforce. I think it's great. We start looking, when we put together those 5 challenges, we were hoping we would get a nice set of diverse solutions, and they certainly showed up in the platform, and I'm delighted to see them show up here in terms of the pitches themselves. I think we are going to move from the oceans to the ferocious land animals. Tigers, I believe you are up next.
Hi, this is Adrian Cooper. We're here. Give Carly 1 minute. There we go. Okay, hi everyone. I'm Adrian Cooper with NOC AD. I think my video just lost. And we are with Team Tigers here. And here's a list of our team members. Carly and Kenny will be presenting with me today. And our challenge was for organization and using the flexibility that we have encountered over the past 6 or so months, and flexibility being a focus within the organization over the past month, and we've been seeing increased flexibility. We wanted to offer another solution for increased flexibility by changing our mindset of the 40-hour work week and going more towards a task-based, performance-based work week. So in order to do this, an overview is shifting our organizational culture. It will be a culture shift for us in the government, as well as emphasis on the policies. There would have to be some policy changes in order to implement this. And we're focusing on our products and our results over focusing on what hours our workforce is working. So some of our customers for this is, of course, NOC AD leadership and our NOC AD workforce, and workforce being one of the biggest opportunities here. And then our recruitment, to recruit talent based on our incentives, like a flexible work schedule. And of course, always the fleet. Those opportunities here are to have a more productive workforce, increase morale within our workforce, increase flexibility in their day-to-day work, and then also importantly is accountability. So now we're holding our workforce accountable for the products that they produce and the results and the work that they do, versus just coming in and doing their 40 hours. And adaptable to new opportunities and threats. So there will be surges where sometimes we might be asked to work more based on something that emerges, urgent needs, and then using our advances in technology in order to make this a possibility.
So I'm Carly Galloway. I'm from NOC Orlando. I'm going to talk a little bit about our solution. So like we discussed before, we want to replace the current system with an output or task-based effort. And when we do that, there's a couple of steps that we would want to take to implement that solution. Part of that would be to define productivity levels for career levels, so a new hire versus a junior or senior employee. And then additionally, we would want to define productivity levels for part-time versus full-time jobs, because obviously those levels would be different. It would also offer us a unique opportunity to hold employees more accountable for their workload if it was output or task-based versus just hours worked. And then, as Adrian discussed, it would allow us to work schedules based around program needs. And then something else we looked at doing is setting a minimum of 33 hours per week to work. So it would offer flexibility, but it would also offer kind of that work-life balance that a lot of us covet so much. So OPM defines a full-time employee as someone who works 33 to 40 hours. And then the team we would need to participate would be our NOC AD leadership, our human capital management group, supervisors, and then accounting and legal. And we envision this as a pilot program in the current organization to make sure that it works. We believe that we have to scale fast and scale forward. So I'm going to pass it on to Kenny to tell you about our advantages and results.
Hey, good morning. Kenny Burke, NOC AD. So we worked over the advantages and results, and we've talked to him a little bit through the rest of the presentation. There's definitely some morale, hiring, those type of things. But one of the most advantageous is right there at top, is that low cost to implement. We believe that this will make the supervisors and the upper echelons of NOC AD and NavAir want to implement this more, because it's going to be a low cost. We're going to have a Tiger team, have to have a pilot program, as Carly referred to get this going. But after that, we will see a difference in cost. There will be responsiveness to a surge. So there'll be some agile to this team, since we know people are working on certain tasks. Instead of just coming in for their normal work hours, we'll know where to be able to put people and move them around better. And then also, we have this competitive hiring and higher workforce satisfaction. Workforce satisfaction, of course, looks at morale before. And then competitive hiring is because, hey, a lot of companies out there are doing now. So we had a lot of discussions this week on millennials and what they'll want. They're going to look to those other companies first because they don't want to come to the government. This will make us more competitive and bring that workforce in. And then it'll be easier to shed unproductive personnel. Now that we know what those taskings are and how we're working towards them, we'll know who the high quality people are, and we'll know who's not producing. Looking at results, we talked about them: better work-life balance, increased productivity. We will have greater motivation from our workforce because they'll like coming to work. Increased job satisfaction, and then also the higher retention, because people will want to stay at NavAir because we are competitive with those other companies out there. So in conclusion, this is something that if we implement is advantageous, and it's very attractive, not just for one individual set of customers, but from Big Navy all the way down to the individual. Thank you for listening to our presentation.
All right, you guys are inspiring me now. I'm loving this. I'm absolutely loving this. This is great. In fact, I hope you're seeing how these two pieces start dubbing together. If you do effective crowdsourcing in the future, I highly recommend sort of reaching out with compelling topics that your workforce is interested in solving. And that first wave of ideation brings you lots of potential ideas. But we all know potential ideas are a long way from being sort of realized ideas. And I suggest often to my clients, all right, so turn those raw ideas, the ones that seem like they have the most potential, even at a paragraph level, into a starter value proposition, which you guys have all done. And then that starter value proposition gives something the sponsors can look at and make more clear decisions about. And of course, and then I'd like to see a mature value proposition with an implementation plan about how we pilot and test. And so anyway, you're getting a feel for how both of these systems, CoStar and crowdsource, can sort of come together nicely at this particular decision point. And let me say again for the third time, I would love to have seen all the work that all of you have done. And if once I get over my fatigue of having to get up so early in the morning, I'm going to spend a little time reviewing all the videos. I know Jerry and many of the other leaders are excited to see what you've produced as well. So do not feel like your presentations, your pitches, your value propositions went into a dark hole. In fact, they've been elevated into the light. They've been pulled off the platform as some of the most interesting ones to review first. So you are indeed first in line.